1.
We're live, Boo-Boo. She stands there and eats like a rabid animal.
Definitely loud and clear.
Sounds good.
All right.
Why is that coming through?
Because it's on my phone.
Yeah, it's on his phone right now. He's
Yeah,
just
it's on
making
my
sure it was
phone.
working.
I was making sure everything was working.
Oh, I could hear that through
Ju-
my headphones.
Yeah, anyone in there, see if, make sure we got good audio. If anyone wants to just chime in. I know I see it peeking out a little bit, so. Yeah.
Back it down a little bit.
Yeah, I think that looks good. How's the, live chat is currently unavailable. I'm not sure what's up with that. No, might have to look in this. How was everyone doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good, good.
Oh, okay.
Want to see here. Just tightening up a couple things. I'm not really sure why that is, the live stream is unavailable.
They can see you.
Yeah. Oh, Allie said it sounds good. Little echoes before. Yeah, I think we got that cleaned up with,
Toning her down a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, it looks like we're good on that
But
department.
it's not showing up on our end here.
No, it's not showing up on that screen, and I don't know why.
I need to get on that.
Yeah, it's on. It's you just
That
go
way
to
there I
YouTube.
can read it. Without
But
having to
I
look at
turned
that
the
screen.
volume all the way down, so that way it's not playing in the background. Because I think that's what Allie was picking up. What do you think? You getting your hair in my drink there? Oh, you got cookie crumbs all over your face. Say hi to everyone, because they saw you in the last episode. Yeah.
Wave, Boo-Boo. Say hi.
Say hi. Say hi to everyone. Say what's up. Yeah, Ellie says it's much better now.
Refresh chat. Maybe that'll.
Yeah, let me give that a shot. I'll hit that.
Well, it ain't like me and Jake can read it anyways, but.
Why does this say Deer Camp Episode 2 live?
That was just, I can't go back and change that now.
Okay. All right, Boo-Boo. You're going to have to go see Nani. Hang out with Sister and Nani.
All right. So episode 3. I'll turn the volume off on that. Episode 3 here. What did everyone think about it? I'm going to start off by saying cheers. Charlie, cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
We did a podcast last night that's going to be out on Monday, this coming Monday. So excited for you guys to hear that. Covered a bunch of stuff. I know we've been diving into basically breaking down some of our hunts, kind of the patterns that we were hunting off of, the strategy and the execution that was implemented in those hunts. But if you guys like that one,
Which one is he?
he would be, yeah, he is one. Yeah, so you can mute that. But yeah, we covered some pretty good stuff. I thought it was pretty entertaining. It was pretty long too. I'm kind of surprised that we found something to talk about for that long, but nonetheless, we did.
Not always on subject.
Not always on subject. We may veer off rabbit trail here and there, but that can be expected when you have a little bit of alcohol involved, right, Charlie?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I failed to take any notes coming into this, and I did on the last one, and we had kind of some things that we went through, but in this episode, obviously, we had Charlie hunting over, well, you hunted your dad's food plot, and you hunted your own food plot.
Yep.
Okay, and then Jake, you were back on that clear cut after the frozen trigger incident, and then I shot a doe, and then you shot your sticker buck.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all that happened in that episode, right?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where did that episode end?
I think that one ended with Charlie.
Yep.
I think it Well, I don't
under-
want to give too much away, but I think that's where it picks up
Okay.
in episode 4, which episode 4 is pretty awesome. I didn't intentionally do it that way, but I feel like, episode 1 was kind of the stage setter. No deer were killed, which I appreciate everyone's positive comments on that. And I know that's what it's all about, but if people are going to hop in and tune into a video, they at least want to see the whole process completed. But we didn't, but there was still a lot of positive feedback on that. Obviously, episode 2 is pretty cool. Me and Chuck both getting bucks. And then, episode 3, I shot a doe, put me in the freezer, and then you got that sticker buck.
Mm-hmm.
That was, what did we call that? Breaking the ice?
Cleaning the ice out from behind the trigger.
Cleaning the ice out from behind the trigger. That's exactly what that was. Yeah, that was just a gnarly incident. All right, so we got some people chiming in. If you guys out there viewing have any questions on any of the 3 episodes, we can cover all of them. Feel free to go ahead. Some of us know you can talk a lot about a lot of things. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, Tom worked with me, so he knows I can talk a lot. I enjoy it, though. How about we start off with the shed right here? How about that? Look at the brow tine on that.
Sorry about that.
It's insane. I think in the podcast last night we were talking about that Conrad buck that got second on the buck pole.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. I mean, that's
very similar.
very similar.
But
it was spinning a little bit.
honestly, so I have a shed at home off from the buck Charlie killed this year.
Yeah.
How the beam's really short. When that buck of Charlie's was a 2 or a 3-year-old,
Mhm.
he had a very short beam here.
Yeah.
And he did the same exact crab claw at the end.
Yeah.
And then eventually his beam kind of came out further. But this buck's kind of doing that same thing. He's very short
Yep. Beam length.
beam length, but he's great here,
So I wonder
Down low.
if that's genetics or if that just means that he had a great start to the season.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Your mom.
To say.
I found that shed. Hey, Dad, how about the shed hunting today?
Did Lexi just make an account?
I think she did. No, I think your mom. I think your mom did.
It must be Lexi using it, though.
Yeah. Probably. Your mom probably want to get on there and comment a little bit.
Yeah.
See, there's a reason why I don't show my mom how to use YouTube.
I didn't
Oh my
either.
God. If your mom could figure it out. It would
You
be
remember my mom at
nonstop.
like some of my high school football games.
Oh
my God. That was always crazy, like Saturday mornings.
I wake up early on Sundays at my own house just because I'm afraid to go to church. And I'm in my own house.
Yeah.
If you woke up at Elvin's house before 8 o'clock, you're going to church, no
Yeah.
matter what.
So you always tried to stay
You're
in
up
bed
at
like,
8
no,
o'clock.
I'm not really feeling that good.
Yep.
The only good thing was when we went to church, when my mom and dad would get us up, we actually went to church. By the time we got back, my dad had a banging breakfast. It'd be like a pile of eggs,
Your
bacon.
dad clearly didn't go to church every Sunday.
No.
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 He's like, I'll stay home and cook breakfast. You guys will have a load of food to eat when you get
Yeah.
back. I have like 30 eggs, scrambled or fried, French toast. But good God. No wonder why I'm a
Do you think that is
6'3".
because he felt bad for not going to church?
No, because he just wanted to eat that many eggs.
Yeah, my dad just knows how to eat food.
Well,
He knew how to put it away. Still does, actually. So,
Yeah, I'm right there with him. I can put some food away.
well, Charlie,
And you can eat like
I
a
can
freaking
eat.
horse, dude.
I don't know how I'm not like 320 pounds.
Yeah.
Dude, I can put it away. Well, you remember that? It was deer
that
camp.
platter.
Yeah.
You came in for breakfast late, and there's like 10 eggs, a half a pound of bacon, a half a pound of sausage,
Yeah.
6-7 pancakes,
it was gone.
fried potatoes, just a giant. It was like a cookie sheet.
Yeah, it was on a cookie sheet, and I came in because
It's
I got
full.
back to camp late. You guys already ate, and your dad's like, "Eat up or finish it up." And
Goes
I'm
and gets you a fork and sticks it in the platter, and you're like, Okay.
Challenge accepted.
Just started putting her away.
I did too. I got most of that put away.
Pancake sandwiches.
Oh my God! Put bacon, some venison. Yeah, there was venison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was like everything.
God, we need to show a little bit more of that next year at deer camp because your dad makes some food.
Yeah,
We show in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the next episode, Jake's cooking breakfast.
Oh yeah. Well,
The
no,
next
he was.
one.
Oh yeah, it is the next one.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah. Yeah. you
And
made
I
it-
guess we should ask these guys, is that something you guys want to see more of is camp cooking,
Yeah, deer
you
camp
know,
recipes.
deer camp, camaraderie. How much snow did you guys have for the rifle hunt?
I mean, it varied a little bit, but
It rained a couple times.
yeah.
Yeah, it came and went for sure. Like, I want to say was it the first night we got hammered?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Opening night.
Night we got hammered. So the first few days was snow,
Yeah.
and most of the season we had snow. I would say
Yeah.
most of the season we had 6 to 8 inches of snow.
But it snowed
then-
at least once a week, though.
Right towards the
Yeah,
end of
it was snowing
season,
frequently.
towards the end of season, it
Kind
Yeah.
of petered out.
petered out and melted.
It usually does though.
Yeah,
It's weird how much the weather changes
Yeah,
in that 2-week time frame.
most muzzleloader seasons start out anymore.
Well, look at elk
with
season.
fair
We
ground.
barely had any snow.
Well, in the next two episodes, you'll see how much it changed because in the fourth episode we got snow, and then the fifth episode we don't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those are a matter of a week apart,
I
not
like
even.
the podcast from this week. Is it on Spotify? Yes, it's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on Google Play, and we also have them uploaded on YouTube. They're uploaded as videos, but you can listen to it the same way. Actually, YouTube they just did a little change to their platform. They actually added a section where it's podcasts. Like you can label it. Like if podcast is in the title, it will put it in a playlist as a podcast, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, for the people that purchase YouTube, correct?
No, I think
Oh, can you?
I think it's
Okay.
just regular. It may be premium. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, YouTube is actually doing a lot of cool things for creators. I mean, even for even hunting creators that they can utilize. But obviously, YouTube is probably a little bit more what we'll call a liberal platform. They do a lot of censoring. It's a little bit harder for channels that kill animals. To get ahead. However, they do respect that. But it's definitely censored. It's definitely there is a little bit of, I wouldn't say shadow ban, but they're not going out there and promoting it. However, they do still open it up, and they have a couple things that I really want to do because I feel like it's going to offer more value for viewers. They have the podcast now, which is pretty cool because YouTube, surprisingly, is actually the #1 podcast platform. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah, like you look at Spotify, you look at Apple or Apple or iTunes, Google Play. YouTube still beats them, and that's why people are still uploading their podcasts to YouTube. But they also have a membership thing, which is very similar to what I assume Patreon is. We don't have a Patreon, but we definitely, me, Charlie, and Jake, we've all been talking about putting out some content where we want to take maps of areas and break them down and how we hunt them and how we would look at them if it's a new area that we're going into, or say it's an area that that we have hunted in the past. We want to break it down into basically the pattern that we recognize and the strategy and execution and how we hunt it.
So let's explain that a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you're looking for a pattern, you're looking for a feeding pattern,
Yep.
a transitional pattern,
Yep. Maybe travel.
a
Yep.
travel pattern, a bedding pattern,
Yep.
a rutting pattern.
Yep.
And those are your 4 basic.
Yeah, those are your 4
patterns.
basic patterns that you're looking at. And I know a lot of people, they go after that bedding pattern because that's the popular hip thing right now, right? But getting outside of any early season hunting, and more specifically November, where we do a lot of our deer hunting, where where followers see us deer hunting, different patterns are way more productive. You know, when you implement the right strategy and execution. And we've talked about it. I don't know how many. I mean, I would say that a lot of our conversation, especially during deer season, is around that whole what pattern are we seeing? You know, what's your strategy at getting in there, and then how are you executing on that? You know, deer hunting is far beyond just going in the woods. I mean, if you want to be, you know, consistently successful or, you know, productive or whatever you want to call it, you have to start diving a little bit deeper into the biology of deer and how they act. You know, just like us as humans, and I would say even in less to a point, you know, their tendencies are more constricted because they operate on food, water, breeding, security, or, you know, bedding, and then also travel. Deer are pretty simple when you think about it.
Very simple.
Yeah.
So how is it so hard to kill them sometimes?
And it comes down to those three things.
Right.
Pattern.
Yeah. Pattern
Strategy.
recognition,
So you-
strategy, and
once you
execution.
got the pattern.
Yeah.
You know the pattern.
Yep.
Now the next step is to put together,
A strategy.
A
And
strategy.
How to kill a deer on that pattern. Yeah.
and then the final step is finishing the job,
Right. Execution.
putting that strategy to work and
Right.
executing.
Well, and if you look at any reputable deer hunter, someone who has had a lot of success, they typically have one or two ways, or there's typically a week out of the year that you can point to where you're like, if that person's going to kill a deer this year, it's going to be right there. I look back on some of the deer that I've killed, and I've killed five or six, if I'm thinking correctly, 5 or 6 deer on film, anyways, on opening day. But and then it's almost like after that, like I have a hard time getting back onto deer until I find another pattern. And so I've looked back on that, and I've been my gears have been grinding on that. I have a handful of spots, and we've talked about this. I can go out there and shoot a respectable buck every single year, and sometimes I do. You know, on opening day, I'll go out and, you know, within the first 2-3 days, anyways, I'll go out and I'll kill, you know, something, you know, decent little basket buck, brow tines or not. But it's about diving into different patterns and recognizing different patterns. Like, you know, Charlie, with your buck that you've chased for 3-4 years.
Right.
You know, Jake in your spot that you have to access with a canoe. You know, this is like different stuff like that I don't think the majority of people are seeing, or maybe they are seeing, they know what they're seeing, but they have a hard time articulating what they're seeing or how they should hunt it, right?
Yeah.
So, do you guys have a lot of hunter competition on state land? Where do you hunt? You know what? I've been asked this question. I honestly think that no.
I think we got more competition in the scouting time of the year than we do during hunt season.
I
I
agree.
truly
more
think
pressure.
Yeah.
Like during bird season, small game season, you
Yeah.
know, there's a lot going
Yeah.
on in the area that we hunt. You got elk season, bear season, small game season,
Youth season.
youth season. There's a ton of pressure early in the season, and then
Yeah.
it kind of dies off. But the deer never really come back.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
never
once they're so used to that heavily pressured time in September, early October,
Yeah.
they never really bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like during opening day of deer season, you know, I passed 4 cars. That's it.
Yeah.
4 cars to my spot, and I'm gonna say at least 30 to 40 miles away from camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't struggle getting away from
No.
people.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of people.
I mean, I could be parked next to somebody, and it doesn't bother me one bit because I
But
know I'm gonna
also the
walk
areas
past
we're
them.
hunting, you're not going to walk in and be like, "Oh man, this is awesome. This is great deer country." You know what I mean? Like you're not seeing runways beat down through the woods and stuff. And even buck sign is like few and far between.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you got to look pretty hard to find some of the patterns that we get onto,
Mm-hmm.
and also too. I mean, like, you can go back to where you had the frozen trigger incident. Like that right there isn't a very hard place to necessarily get to.
No.
But if someone didn't do their due diligence in their scouting, they wouldn't know what is there.
Right.
Even
You
if
know
they
what I
did
mean?
sit it, they might be sitting in the wrong spot, and the deer
Right.
wouldn't even have came out.
Right.
Never knew that deer was even there.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
and
you
I
totally
wasn't
right.
alone there. We talked about that
right.
already.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was
I
already in
knew
the
where
first
there was
video.
two other guys for sure hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I knew from where they were at. You know, I had a pretty good idea what would happen, and I literally watched it with my own two eyes. Watched that big buck come out and wind the guy
Yeah.
that was hunting the other end of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and it's like, the spot where I shot my 6-point. Like, I've shot how many deer there?
Yep.
That's just one of those spots where it's a transition pattern where, because I have a beaver pond, and I think I showed it in there, like, it's kind of flooded. That marsh was severely flooded. Them deer have no choice but to come out, circle that, and then cross right there, where I crossed to go recover the deer. My 8-point in 2018, I shot crossing right there. And I'm trying to think of a few others. If you look back to 2016, I passed on a really nice 8 right there, but he was crossing back there too.
Yeah.
And it's because there's those cattails, and they don't necessarily like to walk out into that marsh, especially when there's snow. I noticed that when there's snow, they will hug one of the sides, either up on the north side towards the cattails, or they'll stay down towards the beaver dam there where the tag elders are. They won't actually walk out in front. Now, I say that, and not last year, but the year before, so 2021, I had that half rack 8-point.
Okay. Yep.
He came out in the middle of the marsh and crossed, but he was running because he knew I don't have any cover here. I can't cross through here, discreetly. I have to get my butt across this marsh. But that right there, that's just a transitional pattern where if I have the right wind, and I have 2 tree stands, that I put on there, so that way I have the wind to my advantage one way or another. And I know we've talked about that, and I have 3 or 4 different ways that I enter that, depending on the beech nut situation, depending on the clear cut situation where the deer are feeding. Because I don't know if if you go off the one road and you actually access that one gate, there's like 3 or 4 apple trees in that field.
okay.
And you hunted you would access that right there where that gate is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in that field there's apple trees.
Yep.
Yeah. Depending on the year, it's usually loaded. However, by the time November hits, they're gone. But
Oh.
it's still a good pattern to hunt every single year. But it's not one where, and I've had trail cameras in there for plenty of years, and I've got some decent bucks on camera. But the biggest buck that I've had on camera there was, I think, my big 8 that I ended up shooting in 2010. I had a nice
You had
10
that big
point.
10-point.
Yeah.
When you shot that
was
6-point.
like November.
It
What
was
was
later.
the day?
October
sun was-
27th, I think.
No. The one you had in gun season, broad daylight. He was like an antique.
November
So
22nd.
The year you
Super
shot your
wide.
6-point.
Yeah.
Gray face, gray
Just
muzzle, just like
standing right in front of the camera. like,
standing in front of the camera. It was
smelling
like
it, looking at it like this.
It's like
and I'm
1 or 2 in the afternoon or something.
Yeah. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. Like, are you kidding me?
I was a smoker, dude.
Yeah.
I was a smoker.
Late, guessing you guys folded on Bush. Yeah, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper
You got
and
her,
Captain
bud.
right now. And I'm not even using a Bush can for a spitter, although last night I did.
You did.
Yeah. I guess it is what it is. But the Captain and Dr. Pepper are serving me pretty good. So, Jake, obviously, you got a little bit of a story to tell. Maybe put some context around the situation with that sticker buck you shot. Because that was in the 3rd episode.
Like, you want me to tell the story on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously know why you were there. You had, you knew that big buck was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe most people don't know, but that buck that you saw the morning you had the frozen trigger incident,
Is the
that
buck
wa-
I ended up shooting.
that's the buck.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, the morning that my trigger froze up, when I got in my stand, that buck that was already in the cutting as I was getting the camera set up and everything, that was the buck that I ended up shooting in this last episode, the 3rd episode. But yeah, I ended up, like, I looked into the swamp. I just got set up, got in the blind light. I looked down into the swamp, and I seen that doe, and all of a sudden I kind of watched her. She kept looking back into the swamp, and then she just kind of trotted off back into the swamp. You know, I'm like, she made like a loop around and dove back down into the swamp. I'm like, something's going on here, you know. And I watched for a second, nothing was going on, so I turned to the camera to turn the camera on to do an interview with the camera. And I happened to look back, like the second I press record on the camera, I look back and I see tines move on the edge of the swamp. And instantly in my head, like I think it's the buck that I'm
There he
watching,
is.
you know. So I spin the camera around and immediately he starts walking out across that cutting, pull the gun up. I was like, no, it's not him. I'm like, he's dying. He's getting it.
Still a nice buck.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing
Great
buck.
buck.
Yeah.
Got to break the ice.
Got to break the ice, but then again, I wonder, like, did I blow that spot apart?
Well,
You
he
know.
came back.
He came
He
back.
came back
It was a
a
few
long
days
time
though.
later.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't kill him.
I don't think you did. I don't know. That
I don't know. You
it just-
can't piss around with deer like that.
No. Especially those bigger ones.
You
more
don't know
mature
what kind of
ones.
small impact can make those deer disappear.
I went after my first buck. 5 days later.
Yeah.
They're not going to tolerate much. You know that.
No. No, and then in the same hand, they will. Like your buck.
Yeah.
We went and we tromped all over that
Looking for
swamp,
that buck.
looking
I
for
was
the first
so
buck you
mad.
shot. And then, what was it? What'd you say, 5 days?
5 days, and then I finally got him back on camera.
5 days and you killed him, right?
6 days.
6 days and you killed him.
No. Yeah. No. 5 days. Sunday. No. 5. Yeah, it would have been 6 days when I killed him. 4 days without a picture of him.
He wants to know, on that note, why did you switch from the tree stand to a ground blind in that spot?
Comfort.
Yeah.
Mostly comfort. It was cold. I knew
What-
I was going to get burned out in the tree stand. And
You're-
also a better shooting rest. I knew I had the potential to make a 300-yard shot there. And as I was in my climber, I was kind of testing it, picking spots out across that cutting, trying to get solid in my climber. And I knew that if a deer came out there at 300 yards, I wasn't going to be completely confident at that distance.
Yeah.
So being on the ground with a good shooting rest, I knew that I could make a 300-yard shot without a problem.
You got that
And I
really
wasn't
nice
gaining
tripod.
anything by being in a tree stand.
Right.
So I was already on top of a hill. When I got up in my tree stand, I wasn't gaining any sight at all.
Right.
From what I could see on the ground, I could see the same thing out of my stand. So
You made that decision late at night, too, because it was like 8:30. And Jake's like, we're going to go over to Scott's, and I'm going to go get a shooting rest.
Yeah.
yeah,
We jumped in the truck and ran. It was
yeah, we made a
late
trip
decision.
over there to go get one of those death grip
Death grips.
tripods. Yeah,
Yeah, so if they're
That thing
if they're
looks pretty
watching,
sweet.
those are
this-
great, dude.
Looks
Oh,
heavy
man.
to carry, though.
They're not that bad. I mean, they're heavy. Don't get me wrong, but when you lock your gun into it,
Yeah.
your gun's ready to go because it just holds your gun there.
Yeah.
Have you seen the chair?
Your hands free, everything.
Huh?
They came out with a chair.
Death
Did they
grip
really?
did?
Yep. Came with a chair. Comes out just like the fourth arrow.
Well, shout out
Camera
to
arm?
Death Grip.
It's right
Shout
there.
out to Death Grip.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I killed that buck, the little drop tine buck. There.
Well, my dad has one. He fucking loves it for. He used it on his Ohio buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves it. Puts his crossbow right in it. Lets it hang.
That deer out in that cutting was 247 yards,
It's a good poke.
and it was just like nothing. You know what I mean? The gun was just one hand,
Right where you need to be.
lay it in there, dude, and it's just
Well,
dead
you had
solid.
like just gotten in the blind too.
Yeah, I wasn't there for very long.
Yeah.
But the cool part is your hands free.
Yeah.
You lock your gun in, and you can work with the camera, do whatever you're doing, and then when a deer walks out, your gun's ready to go.
Yeah.
You just pick up, and your gun's there.
Yeah. Alexis says at least you got that big buck this year. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You got a good one too, Lex.
To mention, wait till they see what you shot in episode 4.
What's that?
I said wait till they see what you shot in episode 4. I don't know why. I
Yeah,
can't-
that's a
I'm
good
trying
one
to-
coming out.
Trying to share this.
Lexi's is that same episode, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, Lexi's is episode 4 too. Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I think if I look back on that, I think you shoot. Which one? Oh yeah, we have the deer drive in the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. That was really
Oh
f-
yeah,
that
yeah.
was
I
really
wish that I
fun.
had my GoPro, 'cause then
Yeah.
I shot that doe on the deer drive and couldn't.
Yeah,
get
it's gonna
any
be a little
footage
bit
of it.
different. Like the older guys, they also want to GoPro and stuff, and
Mhm.
Yep.
I think we'll have it a little.
Yeah,
set
I
up
think
a
we
little
need
bit
to
better.
get that a little bit better set up for next year, because that was really cool.
Yeah.
We just missed a lot of good footage
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
could have had.
Well, I noticed too, like when I shot that deer, like the camera was facing this way, and you know you're up like this, you're not gonna get the shot on film,
Mhm.
and we're gonna be hard pressed to find someone to follow us with a camera. So it's like
And I don't think we necessarily need the shot on film, but
Right.
just the actions leading up to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
you
Well,
know?
we're I mean, you and I, we're jumped into Tacticams right now. I mean, we could easily do those on the rifles.
yeah,
They do have a pretty good mount for those.
Mhm.
yeah,
I mean, they got the same as
Those
your
we
GoPro.
should get a couple of those for turkey hunting too.
yeah. Oh, that's another thing. I got a turkey vest for you.
Do you?
Yeah, I was going through all my turkey stuff today, and I have 2 turkey vests, and like I said, I've barely turkey hunted the last few years. I haven't turkey hunted at all, to be honest with you. But yeah, I got an extra vest in there.
Sweet. I don't have one.
Yeah, I was breaking out all my. It doesn't have a cushion. I actually took that cushion off, but it has the thing where you can connect the cushion to it.
Sweet.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I ordered Kevin one. Hopefully, it'll
Yeah.
be here.
yeah, it's in the back of my truck, so don't let me leave without you
Mhm.
letting you know. But yeah, I'm excited for some turkey hunting. I'm,
Yeah.
Like I said, I was breaking out all my calls today and kind of like scratching. I got the glass, I got the slate, I got the wood, I got the box. You know, I Charlie's turkey hunted with me a few times. He knows I like to use a mouth call, but sometimes when you get them hung up or whatever, sometimes you got to break out that frickin' slate call and start working them. You know, and just start purring at them. Yeah, I'm pumped for turkey season. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
And the walleye
I'm
and
ready for it.
walleye and trout is.
Well, we
3
got
weeks from
we
tomorrow.
got a guest coming up this week.
So does
Yeah.
anybody on here? I don't know if we got any turkey hunters on here, and maybe you guys heard about the Apex Outdoors Turkey Contest?
No.
So I was looking into it. It's pretty cool. Up to 2,500 entries, $75 per entry, and if all 2,500 entries are filled, the first 5 places take home 10 grand.
No shit.
What?
5th through 10th take home $7,500. And this is based off from all the entries being filled.
Right.
Obviously, if only 1,500 of those entries get filled,
Yep.
then the winnings are going to be less.
All right.
But still very good.
Yeah.
You know, it's still like,
Right.
even if it was at 1,500 people, I want to say it was like $7,500 first through 5th, 5 grand, 5th
Oh,
through
shit.
10th.
That would
and-
be pretty cool.
And then, so every like 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th, all the way up to 120th place on the 10th, also takes home $600. So it's kind of random. You know,
Yeah.
all the way up to 120th place. I wanna
So
say.
what's is there like it's a contest, right?
Mhm.
So like what's the scoring criteria?
So when you send in your money to enter, they send you a scoring tool.
Okay.
It's got a scale, a tape measure,
Yep.
all that good stuff on it, and you just have to.
So probably spurs, beard, maybe
Yeah, so
weight.
it's the NWTF scoring system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your spurs times 10, your beard times 2, plus your body weight.
Okay.
That's no women too big, too fat.
Huh?
No women too fat.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
But yeah, there's a bunch of other, they give out, if all 2,500 entries are filled, it says they give out $120,000
Wow.
worth of
no
winnings.
shit.
And it's through
Yes.
the NWTF.
No, Apex Outdoors, I think, is who it's through.
Oh, okay.
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 Huh.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I'm gonna have to look that up. If I find that, I'll share a link to everyone. Like I
Yeah.
said, I don't know how many turkey hunters we got.
And I have
that
yet
would be
to
pretty
talk
cool.
to anybody else that's done it. 'Cause this isn't their first year doing it, but
Yeah.
if anyone on here's participated in that contest, let us know what you thought of it. I seen a lot of comments on it, and everybody had good things to say about it. So
Right on.
I think it'd be a
Jason
cool
Nickel
thing.
on the turkey thing. Jason actually asked, "Have you been seeing more turkey this year than the past few years?"
I think less.
I honestly think, and I like I said, I haven't turkey hunted in the last 2 years, so I don't think I have seen less turkeys. I think I've seen more pressured and more pressured birds.
More pressure for sure, but
Yeah.
I mean, up
I
here,
feel like
yeah.
generally, like in the winter, where the turkeys feed in the winter,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I see less of those big giant flocks of birds.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Maybe
they all,
they're more broke up. Or
yeah,
whatever,
they break
but,
up.
Where you're used to seeing those 40, 50 turkeys in the wintertime,
Yep.
like almost yarded up like deer.
Yep.
You don't see those as much anymore.
Gotcha.
You go 2 hours from here south, and they're insane.
Turkeys.
Turkeys
Yeah.
everywhere, dude. Towards the west. You know what I mean? I don't deer hunt down there, so if anybody wants to go down there and turkey hunt, go right ahead because I don't go down there. But towards the west, 2 hours down from us, there is turkeys everywhere.
Wow.
You will not have an issue getting a turkey down there at all. They're insane. Like I said, I got a picture I could probably show.
My area should be good. I've been seeing more, for sure. Well, hopefully. Yeah, you get one, Jason. Share it with us. Let us know.
Do you guys use grunt calls or rattles on public land?
Yeah, not here in Michigan. I mean, I use grunt calls.
I use the grunt call, not so much the rattle and horns in Michigan.
Yeah,
I even put the rattle and horns away in Ohio this year.
Where I shot,
I didn't rattle at all in Ohio.
I rattle a little bit.
Not this year.
I tell the truth, I use the rattling horns more for rubbing on the tree because I had that a couple years ago. I had that one buck in Ohio, but where I shot my buck in 2020, I rattled there
Yeah. I've rattled, in
just
Ohio,
because of the
Kansas. I've rattled deer, and
bucks in
it's
that
really
area.
fun when you have the right, you know, the right buck to doe ratio, you know, competition and everything. It's pretty exciting because you hit that rattle and you rattle for about, I don't know, 15 to 45 seconds. You know, that's kind of like my sequence, and I'll do it again in like 15 minutes. But that is the coolest thing when you hit that rattle, and all of a sudden you hear, and it's just coming down the ridge to you or coming through the woods to you, and you're just like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
they actually get fired up about that.
I've
Well-
blind grounded quite a few bucks, you know, in Michigan. Lots, you know. I've killed
Yeah.
bucks. Blind
Yeah.
grounding them in. Actually, Wade McMillan, I took him deer hunting the one year, and we'd watched 3 or 4 bucks. One really good buck chasing it though.
Yeah.
Crossed a Tag Alder Marsh. And once they were all out of sight, probably 5-10 minutes after all the noise calmed down, you know, I got on the grunt call and did a tending grunt series, and it was probably 40 seconds to a minute later, you hear this buck charging through the water across the marsh.
Yeah.
Comes right to the base of our tree, 15 yards, Wade blasts him. Nice 8-point.
Yeah, I think my first buck I ever shot with a bow, I grunted it in, blind grunted.
Okay.
Yeah, it was October 14th of 2009. I was on a little island in a marsh. Maybe it wasn't more like a peninsula, but it was like a bigger area that I was on, but then it like narrowed out. You know, so I creeped in there and I just did some soft grunting. But I started hearing some blowing, like something was getting my wind, but I knew my wind wasn't blowing that way. I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense, you know, and like my grunts aren't that bad, like, you know, and I'm like, what's going on here, you know? And so I kind of waited a little bit, so I blew it again. I'm like, "Meh, rah, 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 rah," you know, just blowing some grunts, and again, I got. I'm like, dude, my wind's not going there. In fact, it's going the opposite direction. And sure as heck, here comes this buck, you know, little year and a half, 2.5-year-old buck, whatever it was, come walking out, and I stuck it at 25 yards.
Well, that's that same marsh that Jake's talking about. I ended up hunting in 2016, and that's what I did. I ended up I moved at 10:30, got to that spot by 11:30, Ended up getting in the blind. I ended up kicking does up. Well, I assumed they were does
Yeah.
across the marsh. They were in the marsh when I got up in the tree stand. So to kind of cover my noise that I was making getting into the blind, I grunted a couple times. It wasn't 30 seconds later. He come across the marsh.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Nice 8 point. On
So
the
there was
opposite
a
side.
time- It was, I think, October 18th, and actually a bachelor group of bucks still on October 18th, up in the hills. I want to say there was 4 of them. And
There we go.
There we go.
so October 18th, I want to say there was 4 bucks in a bachelor group still, and this was actually from Alvin. You know, I'd always used a grunt call and stuff, and he's like, you ever see a deer that you can't get to react to a grunt call? He's like, snort and wheeze at him.
Yep.
He's like, you'd be really surprised. And this is early, you know, this is October 18th. But I'm watching these bucks on the next ridge over from me, and they're just kind of browsing. You know, the woods is real green yet, and they're just browsing on whatever they can, mingling around. And I'm grunting at them, and they'd pick their head up, look at me, whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to snort wheeze at them. They were over 100 yards, you know, so I'm like, what's it going to hurt, you know?
Right.
Had probably 45 minutes of daylight left, so I'm like, got to do something, you know. And the one was a really good 8 point, like probably a 17, 18 inch wide 8 point.
Yeah.
And I think I actually showed these videos to you guys on my phone.
Mhm.
I took a video of them with my phone before I had a actual camera, you know. But I snort wheezed, and all of them, they just turn and they start coming right towards me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So they come off that ridge and they drop down into a big ravine, and they disappear in that ravine. And a basket rack 7 point, you know, pretty decent buck, walked right underneath my tree, looking around, trying to figure out what other buck was over there. And I'm videoing him with my phone, you know. But I knew that big 8 was in that ravine.
Yeah.
And so I watched 2 more bucks come up out of that ravine, and they were both basket rack bucks too. And they probably came within 20, 25 yards. And pretty soon I can hear the leaves coming. You know, I'm like, all right, this is him. He's coming.
Yeah.
And he pops up to the top of that ridge, same place they did. He was probably at 40 yards. And what happened, I have no idea, because the wind was perfect. He pops over the top of that ridge and snorts and takes off running.
They knew something was up.
Yeah, I have no idea what it was. Like, it definitely nowhere near my ground scent.
Yeah.
And the wind was good.
weird.
The first time I
I
started
don't know if he just seen my silhouette, because I was kind of skylined in the hardwoods like that, you know.
Yeah.
And the sun was setting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he came up over that ridge and just seen my silhouette and didn't like it and snorted and took off or what. But
Probably. It's crazy what you can get deer to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they are very, very social creatures, very interactive.
Oh, especially in Ohio.
Ohio's
It's
crazy.
crazy. That was my first time snort wheezing. Was in Ohio, and I got a roar back. That was the first time I've ever heard a roar.
I'm going to read some of these questions, and I'm going to smash me a cookie here. In Waters hunting, okay. I'm in Waters hunting and have a few plots, but it's a struggle to get things to grow. What was your plot on your private land? Any luck? Charlie, that's a question for you.
Alfalfa, for one. It seems like alfalfa, if you do a spring alfalfa, I think me and Jake were talking about it 2 weekends ago. But I got real poor soil at my place, but it seems like if I do a spring alfalfa and cut it at least once, it seems like it comes back the following year pretty good. And what alfalfa does, it also brings the soil up too. So that's another plus about alfalfa. So you don't have to keep it. You can also give it like 2 years and then rototill it in or disc it in, and it brings up the soil a little bit better for you. So alfalfa gives you 2 things. In our area, we got a lot of feed, so alfalfa wasn't the greatest. So corn's another one. Corn's pretty good too. You might not get the growth out of corn, but if you got poor soil, corn does pretty good too sometimes up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in waters.
I know a lot of people like sorghum or like those brassicas or the radishes. I know those are pretty popular. Oh, thank you, sir. We got the Captain Morgan here. We got the Dr. Pepper. I like my Dr. Pepper. Even got the ice. Your mom hooked us up. She's got popcorn. Well, Brad made the popcorn.
Brad made the popcorn.
Your mom made the cookies. The cookies are amazing, Alexis. Eric said, what are you guys using for muzzle loaders? I've settled on 290 grain Barnes copper saboted bullets and 209 powder. I have a Traditions Striker Fire. I use the 209 Blackhorn powder. I think it was 160 grains of that I used. I'm sorry, not 160, it was 110. Because it was like 2 pellets plus 10 grains. That seemed to work the best for me. And then I forgot. I think I was using the Traditions Sabot, and I don't remember what grain. I think 245 or 265 rings a bell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was, yeah, cheers on the snow melting is right, Jason. I'm so ready for this stuff to be gone. Some boots on the ground in the morning. Do you do a lot of spring scouting? Yeah, spring scouting. I will tell you right now, I won't speak for these guys, but I'll tell you from my own personal experience, spring scouting has put me on some of the best patterns that I come back and hunt in the fall. 100%. Yeah. It's spring scouting is definitely, I need to do it. Right now
I'm going out tomorrow.
How are you?
Yep.
I can't go out tomorrow, but I will be out. Once the snow really gets gone for good, then I'll be out. But yeah, I know, Jake, you've already been out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And it's just starting to get good for deer scouting.
Yeah.
Snow's just starting to get to where we can get out and actually see sign on the ground, you know.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things is how the ground scrapes stick around.
Yep.
You know.
Well, I was trying to look for the powder that I use. I use this new powder for my muzzleloader.
Michigan North says ground blind hacks, ? Well,
What's that?
I don't hunt out of a ground blind very often because I can't stand it. However, I will have a couple spots next year that I can climb into and stay warm. Because I'll tell you what, there's a few things that I do not go cheap on. I will drink cheap beer. I will chew cheap tobacco. But I will not go cheap on clothing. And I'll tell you right now, my hunting clothing still didn't do the trick this fall in November.
I don't think there is one that does.
I don't.
Well,
I don't think there is either.
Well, even
I'm slowly learning that.
even with the pop up, you know what I mean. Even the best pop up out
But
there,
it gets you out of the wind.
Gets you out of the wind, and you can use the heater, but at the same time, you're still cold. It's not like
No.
you're warm, hot.
No, not like you are when you're in a tree stand.
No.
Like, it's so much different.
Mm-hmm.
It's night
It's a
and
different
day.
feeling.
It's a night and day. Like, you get that warm, radiant heat off the heater in a pop-up in a pop-up line. Like, you're never gonna sit there and shiver.
No.
When you're in a tree stand
You're
and it's
shivering.
12 degrees and the wind's blowing,
Mm-hmm.
you're cold. Like, there's been so many times I'm sitting in a tree stand and I'm like, if a deer comes out, I'm not gonna be able to shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I can move my arms right now. How am I gonna pick my gun up, flip the safety off, and make a shot? I'm so freaking cold. I'm wasting my time. I gotta climb down.
Yeah. But yeah, pop ups. You know, what I mean, it's always nice to have that one spot where you can set up one at least for a backup spot when it does get cold like that, or we get dumped with snow.
The best thing I ever did was build that blind out of styrofoam
Mm-hmm.
and panels.
Yeah,
And-
you literally put that whole deer blind on your shoulders and walk right in. It's
I need
crazy,
to make one of
dude.
those. You know,
Dude,
we need
it's-
to do a video
the whole
on how to
thing
make
is
one of those. 'cause you can-
Literally is probably with the floor is the heaviest part. The floor is heavier than the whole blind put together.
Yeah. Yep.
You build it out of cedar and styrofoam. Literally, that's what the blind's built out of is styrofoam with 1 by.
And that right there makes a huge difference if you have a floor in your blind. If you have a floor in your blind, you don't get that cold
Yeah.
on your feet. It makes a difference. Even if you just walk in, take an old rug with you and put it on the ground.
that little
I
styrofoam
think that's what
blind
I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
is so warm. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys see me, I'm sitting there in my sweatshirt, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
got to take my buddy heater and go from low to off. You know, I can't even leave the buddy heater on low.
I'm trying to check my DM there, Adam. I saw you sent me something, but the internet. I only have one bar of LTE out here. We're running off the Wi-Fi, but I'll see if I can get that pulled up. It's saying that I have a message, but then it's not reading that I have a message.
Really?
Your brother got hacked the other day. Get
yeah.
Get this. He's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, headed out to look at a couple tree jobs. And he's like, I am also doing good. Haven't you heard about the community development block program going on in a few days? I'm like, yeah, that is not Hunter. I was like, oh, man. They sent me a question mark. I'm like, they ain't responding to that. Get out of here.
Yeah, that went out to everybody.
I can't
Not
pull it
today, ISIS.
Did you get it to
All
pull
right.
up? I can't get it.
I can't get, I'm trying to load it, but I can't get it to pull up. Yeah.
Screen's been frozen.
Eastern UP, and it gets cold. Yeah, Eastern UP is pretty bad. I know some of those
It
areas.
says it's frozen. The screen
Yeah.
is right now. See it?
Well, that is the feed is, but the actual video isn't.
Yeah, I don't know why our screen's frozen.
No.
Look,
yeah.
I just got a message from whoever that. How are you doing?
So he's still hacked.
Still hacked. That's funny. I passed them on the way here. Okay, so Adam said I don't have a YouTube account, but my question is below for you guys to answer in the chat. I hunt a lot of big woods, northern Michigan public, just like you guys do. I do the scouting to try to find in isolated spots where there is little to no human traffic. I may have 3 or 4 spots that are my go-tos, depending on wind. Each year, I think I'm all set with no other hunter competition, and then opening day, poof, the other hunters appear. It's got to the point where I am setting up cell cams trying to catch other hunters' activity so I know if I should even bother wasting my time driving to that spot. How do you guys deal with this?
We don't have that issue.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have that issue. I usually, I mean, like my spots, like I go to, like once in a great while, I may walk past someone, or maybe where I park, there might be someone there. But
Where's he at now?
he
did
says
he
he's
say?
in northern Michigan, but he didn't say exactly where. You don't need to, Adam. But I guess back to what we've had said in the past, we haven't seen more pressure, but we've seen pressure
In the right places.
move to the right places.
In the
like-
wrong places for our.
Right. People are
scenario.
figuring it out. And there's a lot more to figure it out. Believe me, there's how many times at the end of the season do you kick yourself in the nuts thinking, my God, I wish I would have went to those spots to at least give them a sit. You know what I
Rocks.
mean? There's plenty of hunting out there, plenty of opportunities and patterns to recognize and put together.
What do you think of that chainsaw mix I fixed up for you? Did you try it yet?
What is this? What is it, like
It's-
90% Captain Morgan?
I got a little heavy on the captain.
Adam
but
so says.
He said Kalkaska
Close
County.
enough.
Okay, so Kalkaska County, I'm probably thinking of I'm not going to give it out, but are you hunting like hardwoods and you're hunting west of Kalkaska? Just shoot me an answer, yes or no, in the chat, because this takes forever to load on Facebook.
Are we still frozen, or is that just on our end?
No, that's just on
people
our end.
told us it was frozen.
Oh, it shouldn't be frozen. The feed shouldn't be frozen.
I guess go.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't have service to check it out.
I can look at it real quick.
Allie says the screen's still frozen. It's probably because you guys hooked up to the Wi-Fi.
I know I didn't. Yeah, I don't know why that's frozen. Yeah, sorry for it freezing, guys. I'm not connected to anything. Yeah, no worries, Michael, for that long message. We'll try to answer it to the best of our ability here, but I know it's not caught up.
We're way.
Yeah, you're behind there.
Yeah, it's froze, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why we're froze. It could be the internet, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna try something here, folks. sure why that's frozen.
Is there a refresh?
Are you running off the Wi-Fi here?
Yeah.
There isn't a
Oh,
refresh on that, is there?
Yeah, it says Bear Lake area. I'm not sure why we're froze. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, if you guys can just give us a minute, we'll try to unfreeze it.
Yeah, I figured that out.
I know everybody likes Jake's beautiful face.
Is it frozen there? We're on Wi-Fi. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm already hooked up to it with my phone, but he's not.
Okay.
Just no video.
There's no video. Fire shows it's good down there. There's a refresh button at the very bottom by end screen. Right, that middle one. Oh, no. Probably won't work. Guess this is a good time to learn something new, though. Just push buttons. Just start pushing.
Keep talking about deer hunting, he says. Adam, to answer your question, I've never hunted. I've worked in the Bear Lake area on
Yeah,
some
same here.
compressor buildings over in that area, and I guess I didn't know there was a ton of state land, like big state land over there. Is
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Especially
Like
over by-
obviously there's state land everywhere, but I
Yeah.
didn't think there was like big desolate chunks like
Yeah,
we
it goes
have
on the
here.
backside of Traverse City over to the more towards the west and stuff.
Big country though, like
Yeah.
2-3 miles.
I do believe there's some hills out there too, a little bit, but yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
without ever hunting it,
Some
I
of
don't
those wells that we worked on, you know, what I mean, those are on the backside of those are private, but then also in between were public. So,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I'll be in Kalkaska in the next couple weeks for work. So,
Yeah, the only thing I could say is, if you can, try to get deeper, or you know, try to get away from those people.
yep.
About all I can say for you. Or, if you can't get away from them, try to
Well-
use them to your advantage.
What was the exact question on it?
He's having issues. He's got 3 or 4 spots that he likes to go to every year, and he just never knows. Like he'll think he's in the clear and nobody else is back there, and then the last day or two before season, people start showing up back there, and he has issues.
I gotcha.
So yeah, I would either say
You can always prepare for people. So you set that main spot that you want to hunt, and then say you have that 1 year that you get more pressure than normal. Try to take this time right now this year to scout that area a little bit better, and put it in your mind that, oh, okay, if I get pressure in this area, I can come to this spot. They're gonna push this deer to this area that I'm hunting. The best thing to do is be mobile.
so.
In that
A buddy of
area.
mine just messaged me that is familiar with that area. And this is to Adam. He said, check out the Flowing Wells area, Adam.
There you go.
That's a buddy of mine that has hunted that area and grew up on that side of the state. So that's his recommendation, is check out the Flowing
Not
Wells.
working, is it, Owen? Up by the live button, or up by live, there's a camera. What's that? Crazy. Well, you're just gonna have to enjoy Elvin eating
Is there
that
any way
cookie.
we can like stop it and start it back up?
Yeah, but then it all goes.
deal.
Adam says, hunted flowing wells 3 seasons ago. A lot of pressure back in there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I've never hunted it. I've cat hunted that area once.
Yeah, you're probably just gonna have to find areas that well, go in there in the spring, and you'll see a lot of areas that don't have any hunting pressure. They're not gonna have tree stands. They're not gonna have foot traffic, blow tacks, and stuff like that. I would say get a little bit farther back. Maybe if you recognize about how far away you've been hunting and been seeing these people from parking lots or roads, maybe try another quarter mile, maybe another third of a mile farther in. You could try that. I'll tell you right now, if I go into an area and I know
Go
there's a lot
somewhere
of
that
pressure-
nobody else wants to be.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And if I'm not mistaken,
I'll tell
that
you-
flowing wells area is like a nasty, nasty swamp.
is it?
If I'm thinking correctly, if that's the place that I cat hunted the one day, there's some big, nasty.
Well,
thick
I know there's
cat
also
swamps
some
in there.
big hills in there. And I don't know if they're, oak trees or whatnot, but if there's oaks, then, I mean, of course, you're right next to, at that point, you're not too far away from Traverse City.
Yeah, and
You're getting
here's
a lot
the
of
thing.
people
I
out of
mean,
there hunting.
if you can't get away from people by going deep,
Yeah.
and as deep as you can get,
Mhm.
then the places that people don't want to be, like nasty blowdown cedar swamps, those places are going to hold deer
Yeah.
because that's the only place a deer can go to get away from pressure.
Yeah, and that's a point to make is pressure's not a bad thing.
No,
Pressure's a good thing. If
there's
you're-
times where we say it all the time. We wish
Yeah.
we had more pressure.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
more people coming in and pushing
Yeah.
these deer farther back. Yeah, use it to your advantage and it may take a couple years to figure it out, especially when you're in a new area. I mean, I've got areas that have taken me or are still taking me years to figure out completely. And once you do, it's almost like once that pressure does hit, you have you're going to be in the prime spot. So you got to find out where those deer are going when the pressure does hit. If you're in a hilly terrain, typically that's going to be at the top of the hills where deer are going to bed. If it's down in a swamp, they're going to be in they're going to walk through water to get to where they feel safe, where they can hear people coming in on them.
Well, you're out there patterning that deer, and it's going to take you a couple years to pattern that.
Yeah.
But then you're also going to have to pattern the hunters around you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Take them a couple years. Okay, I'm getting pressure in this area, pressure in this area,
But
area.
you can do all that. You can do
Yeah.
all that within a year or two. If you
Yeah.
have access to the area regularly and you can go out there on a weekend in the summer, or in the spring, or in the fall. Some of my best scouting is done in season in a downpour rain. I love that time of year because obviously you have up-to-date fresh sign right there. You're going to see all the people that are parking there. If you think, okay, well, it seems like there's a lot of people in here. So they're leaving scent. They're coming into that area every weekend or every week, whenever they're hunting. Those deer have to go somewhere. And if there's a food source in there, let's say acorns, the deer are still going to come there. They're just going to come there at night. So you're going to probably be looking for some sort of transition pattern for deer coming from somewhere safe up into that area where you're seeing all the pressure. But if there is food there, the deer are still going to come there. So you're going to be looking for a transition pattern right there. And that could be coming out of a swamp or a thick area or coming off a really tall ridge that's hard to get on top of. But either way, there's still a way to do it. But it's really hard to it's hard to break down when I don't have a visual in front of me. So, yeah, Forever Evers is, water is key to leaving people behind. Cross it, walk it, kayak it, or canoe it, right, Jake? Yep. Let's see here. Do you guys cringe when one of your good spots gets covered in good buck sign, knowing that someone is likely to stumble upon it, start hunting it in the future, or is it just me?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
really. My spots don't really get pummeled with buck sign.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't hunt
really.
a spot that you'd be walking through and there's so much buck sign that
I'll tell you
kinda
what.
hang somebody up on it.
Maybe old sign, but
Yeah, more often I go into a spot that I find, and if it's really, I mean, if it checks a lot of my boxes, I look for a tree stand. And when I don't find one, I go, how the hell has no one ever hunted this before?
Right.
Or, you know, you look and you got a tree that's been, you know, have a couple limbs trimmed off it to fit a tree stand. You look at it, you're like, why has no one ever been back here? Why don't I see any blinds? Why don't I see any wrappers or, you know, beer cans sometimes? You see those a lot.
Yep.
But there's no human sign. You're like, all right. And then you start questioning, like, am I seeing something that doesn't actually exist? Or,
Might chew on
you
that
know,
table.
is it that nobody saw this pattern until I came into here?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, the place where I killed my big deer this year, I thought that was completely all to me. You know, I thought I was the first person to ever deer hunt that.
Yep.
You know, and
Get another cookie.
I go in there to hang a tree stand the first year I hunted it out of a tree stand. And there's an obvious perfect tree there that was great for a tree stand. I get climbing the tree to get a stand in it. I get about 25 feet in the air, and here's there's a tree step sticking out of the tree about that far. The rest of it's grown in, and there's about this much of it sticking out. Charlie was with me. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This whole time, here I am. I'm thinking I'm the first man to ever hang a tree stand in this tree. And I was about ready to give it up. I was like, I don't even want to hunt here anymore. And lo and behold, the reason that nobody was hunting it anymore is because I tried hunting it out of that tree, and it wasn't worth a bent dick.
Yeah.
You know? The following year, came in from a different direction, hunted it a little bit differently, and it was much more productive.
Oh my God, those cookies are so good. This is not good. Combining alcohol with sugary sweets. Charlie's pouring himself some vodka and Red Bull here.
Well, I didn't think they could see me, so I thought I was going to
It's
get
a
away
good
with
thing
this.
that like we're frozen on our camera here, and I have no idea how to reset it. I'll have to look into that, so I apologize for that. But we have sweets, we have popcorn, cookies, we have drinks, we have Jack Daniel's honey, we have some vodka over here, Red Bull, tobacco, can of Cougar. Man, the ATF is loving us. Cheers.
This must be the first time it's ever happened because the internet has nothing to help me with this.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's all right though.
Man, I wish we could figure it out. It's going to bug me.
It's bugging me, but the show must go on.
Why isn't that button on play?
I don't think it needs to be because that's a mini feed, but that's not.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with us. I don't think because it wasn't on. I mean, I'll hit it, but we'll figure it out. All right, Alex said again, it's getting a lot harder now with everyone becoming mobile to know if someone is hunting there. You have to look a lot closer for stick marks in trees and branches, cut or broke. Yeah,
That's
I'll tell you
true.
what. I mean, I love the idea that more people are getting out and becoming more mobile and stuff like that, but it's also attracting people to maybe, how do I say this? It's attracting people to areas that don't have a full understanding of how to implement a strategy and execution on how to hunt that area. Does that make sense? And I'm not an asshole for saying that. Okay. It's a good thing that people are getting out there experimenting and becoming better hunters. And in order to become better, you have to fail at some point. You know, however, like we say and we preach, deer hunting isn't just floating around with a tree stand on your back, trying new areas and stuff like that. It comes down to pattern recognition, strategy, and execution. You can go to a new spot every single day. You can pick out every pinpoint marsh or bedding area, whatever you want to call it, and you can hunt a new one every single day. If your strategy and execution is off, you're still not going to see deer. It's that simple. I've hunted plenty of states, and every single state is different because of the terrain. But one thing is the same is all those patterns exist. Once you find those patterns, recognize those patterns, and whether it be a breeding pattern, travel pattern, feeding pattern, or rutting pattern, you still have to put in a good strategy and execute on that strategy in the right way. That's the most important thing. And back to the question, it's not, when I see people out there trying to do what they see on YouTube, they're implementing the idea of mobile hunting, but their strategy and execution is off severely. Based off where I see trucks parked and I know the trail that they use to get in there, and then if I zoom out on X and I try to see, like, okay, I think I know where they're going, you know they're doing it wrong. And it's like, I almost want to run into that person and be like, I understand why you're back here, but you're entering it all wrong. You know?
Let's make this a little more clear. If anybody's kind of struggling to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you can have the pattern right, and you can strategize it right, but you can still mess that up on the execution.
100%.
And the reason you can find the pattern, you can put together the strategy. The execution can fail by a few different things, and that can be, I would call the entry to your tree stand would be part of your strategy.
Yes.
But when you go to make that entry into your tree stand, if you've got a metal set of sticks on your back and they're clinging around on your way to the tree stand, and a deer hears that on your way in, that's a flaw in your execution.
Failed execution.
Yep. There's so many things like noise, and I think that's mostly when it comes down to a failed execution. It would be something human error, as you're entering, making noise, movement, in your tree stand, if you're not sitting still and paying attention, if you're looking at your phone too long, and you watch a deer go by, a deer goes by and you don't even see it because you're staring at your phone screen.
Yep.
That's a flaw in your execution,
Yep.
So you can do everything right and then still fail in your execution.
Yeah. You could be in the perfect spot, find the perfect pattern, strategize it, and like you said, have an entry, have an exit, and all that. But if your execution is off just one bit, it can screw you.
You trip over a log on the way
Big
in,
time.
make a
Yeah.
big smash,
Yep.
boom, you blow the whole area
It
apart.
literally where I get to my river spot, where I come off, like I would say my normal path, where I come off my path is only 150 yards.
Yeah.
When I get to 150 yards, I literally take my time. It'll take me forever, and I sweat my ass off because I'm literally picking up I got short legs. God, just be quiet about it. So I literally,
so bad to say something.
I literally got to pick up my legs to get over these logs in a cedar swamp, and I'm literally taking my time and not breaking a branch and stuff.
Yeah.
And some people might think that's stupid, but
No, it's not.
I literally,
It's the little details that
I
bring
literally,
it all together.
I don't want to ruin the 5th episode, but you know what I mean? I snuck in within minutes.
Yeah. You were seeing deer on the way to that spot.
Well, 2nd episode, you know what I mean? Me and my dad shot that buck 20 minutes after being in the blind. And
Yeah.
he's the same way. He literally takes that last 150 yards, and I think that's where I get it from. It's probably him, but the last 150 yards, he just takes his time.
It took me a while to learn that because understand this. Growing up, if I went with my dad hunting,
Yeah.
we rode the tractor or the snowmobile all the way to the blind. Okay, and then I got to break out the wheelchair, unfold the wheelchair, get him in the wheelchair, and then we would drive the tractor, me and Aaron would drive the tractor or snowmobile away from the blind. And then we go back and then help my dad get in the blind, and then we sit in the corner with a little peephole all day. That's bad execution.
Yeah, but it's
But-
a little different style of hunting.
Understand?
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
That's
totally.
mostly probably bait pile hunting.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was all bait pile hunting.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a little bit different. That's more like bear hunting,
Yeah. Which was the craziest
Where
thing?
where little noise don't bother them because they're used to hearing that buggy come in and drop them a little bit of corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So
They're like, oh, that's
yeah, it's dinner bell.
Yeah. Do you guys use GPS to find your way in the dark? No.
Did we skip the?
I think I've
I'm thinking about doing turkey stuff.
Well,
got turned around a few times and I've
Yeah.
had to whip up my phone, but other than that, no.
I'm one of them guys that walk out of my blind and into my blind the last little bit.
I also
without a
quit.
flashlight.
I also quit using Glow-Tax.
I've never used a glow tack in
I
my life.
quit using Glow-Tax about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Because I was sitting there one day and I went into my spot. Get this. It was actually during deer camp. You guys saw the deer I ended up killing that night, but I was walking into my spot and that I had Glow-Tacked. And there was a guy sitting right where I stopped my Glow-Tax. I Glow-Tacked it. You'll know where I was Glow-Tacking it through the hardwoods to get to that old logging road. Okay? He was sitting where the last Glow-Tack was.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, are you kidding me, dude?
I followed that glow. If you're talking about where you shot your big one,
Yeah.
yeah, I followed that glow tech.
Yeah, there was
that
yeah.
day-
And
that
granted,
day.
he was still a half a mile away from where I was hunting. I just kind of stood there, and I was running late because I ended up rolling one of my tires off the bead coming out of camp, so I had to change my freaking tire.
That was a big thing that year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I had that Dakota, that was terrible. But yeah, that's when I quit using Glow-Tax. And I can't say for sure that he was following my Glow-Tax, but if there's a chance that he possibly did, why am I going to use them again?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we go in it so many times, we kind of get it
Yeah.
pattern in our mind, which way to go, which tree we do landmarks.
Yeah.
We look for that landmark, when to turn, when not to turn,
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never used a glow tack.
Yeah, I quit using them.
That's just not the way.
I will say
that
this,
our
though.
dads taught us how to do
Yeah,
it.
we
you
just you find
know?
that.
If we did
landmarks.
anything, we would make our own marker out of a stick or something to know when to
Yeah.
turn. We did things to mark the trail, but never.
Yeah,
never
Charlie
glow
used to
tags.
show me all the ways. He'd be like, "Yeah, when you do this, you got to lay a log in the road or in the trail and point
Charlie
that way."
used to be famous for tearing up trees with a machete.
Oh yeah, he always
his
had
whole
his
way
machete.
into his tree stand, and then he would come to my tree stands and just make a machete trail to him. I'm like,
That was
Charlie, come
was-
on, man.
Like you can't be doing that.
Now this is years
that
ago.
was back
Don't
when
get me wrong.
that was back when we literally I hunted the private property behind my dad's. He had the private property behind his dad's.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a long
So-
time ago, but
That's when
Just-
we had
just
to hunt
whacking up
private
trees with a
property.
machete.
There's no sense in using Glow-Tax in southern Michigan. The woods is lit up with them. Yeah, that's a lot like Ohio.
Oh,
And
Ohio's
some-
bad.
Ohio's terrible.
If you're
Ohio's the worst.
if
I've
you
ever
get
seen.
There's no way you'd have to.
I don't think there's a tree without one.
You'd have
So
to
then
get like,
you look. There's like trails. They have patterns.
yeah.
Like they have diamonds of glow tacks to tell theirs, and then they have plus signs, or
Well-
they'll have three, like a triangle. You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
What was
are
bad?
you joking me right now, you
Yeah.
guys?
Hey,
It's bad.
last year when we went down there to scout, me, Elvin, and Tony, we go there. We went on a back side to enter it, and we're walking it, and you can see where they put the glow tacks, and the glow tacks go like this. Well, it was all blown down, so we had to work our own way. So we made this it was a little bit easier the way we took rather than the glow
Yeah.
tacks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we popped back over where they were, and same thing. We ended up going back into the season. Me and Tony walked on that way, and everybody's using our path. They ain't
Yeah.
even going towards the glow tax anymore because the glow tax took you way out of the way.
Yeah.
We're like, no, we're not gonna do that. We did it one time. We ain't doing it this time. We're gonna make our own little path.
No, those guys that put those Glow-Tax there were dumb. We're doing it our own way.
No, yeah. Yeah. Well, Allie looked it up and she said the only way to do it is to restart it.
Yeah, I'd have to. We would have to restart the whole live stream. We're just not going to do that because then you guys would have to come back in. But
Shout out to Allie for helping
yeah, shout out to Allie for keeping us up to date on the stream there. But we got a few more comments rolling in here. Yep, same in the UP.
Did we get? I feel like we skipped a few, or am I wrong?
Did we? I don't know.
So we answered Alex Slosser.
Colin
Getting a lot of it.
asked.
Colin, do you think the social media has more of a negative or positive effect on the hunting community?
I think it's gotten more people involved.
I feel like it's definitely affected some of the guys that had it all figured out before social media.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yep.
in a negative way, because obviously it made them have to work for it harder.
Yep.
Well, we're one of them.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it's negatively affected us.
We had
But
to change.
we're
We had to
okay
change
with
our
it.
hunting a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have more people out in the woods. You're going to have more people in the right areas where they should be. However, you know, I mean, you think back 10 years ago when we started this, 2014. There were popular YouTube shows that you can probably think of that weren't even in existence. It has greatly impacted, I would say. I think it's become mobile hunting in general has become a fab. It's become like a, hey guys, look, I'm a mobile hunter. Cool. Now go kill a deer. Oh wait, you know what I mean? It's made mobile hunting popular, but there's still no solid knowledge in it. There's solid knowledge in the bedding aspect of it, but there's people out there that literally say, "Oh, I don't waste my time doing anything but bed hunting."
Right.
Okay.
You have fun with that.
You have fun with that. But you know that that's someone that heard that on YouTube and is regurgitating it, because
Yeah.
anyone with any ounce of.
Right.
You look at some of the people that we know that have walls that we aspire to have, they're not just bed hunting bucks.
No.
In fact, in certain times in November, why would you even bother sitting on a buck's bed?
Right. Especially during the rut.
They're
That's
not
crazy.
even there.
No.
I don't know how many times I've gotten a picture on a trail camera at 11:30 in the morning of a nice buck cruising through an area where I've never seen him before. What does that tell you? He's not in his bed. He probably hasn't been there for days or weeks.
Well, then you have those people that be like, "Yeah, I'm hunting the doe bedding this."
That I can agree with.
I agree with
I would
that.
hunt doe bedding.
Yes.
But there's literally people that
But our doe bedding is everywhere.
Everywhere.
it's everywhere. yeah.
Everywhere. There can be a deer, just a deer bedded anywhere where
Yeah.
we hunt.
It's the big woods.
Yeah.
This isn't Kansas where you have a
But one thing I would
200-yard
say-
strip of land.
Like, I'll say
From
that,
home.
you know, social media has definitely hurt a lot of the serious hunters.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with that being said, greed, if we ever lose our rights to hunting, it's going to be because of greed.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and if social media has a little bit of a negative effect on the already avid deer hunter,
Yeah.
then so be it. You know, if social media can bring an extra 2 or 3% of hunters, and I think it's actually higher than that. You know, I think social
Yeah.
media has brought a lot of people into the deer hunting game that would have never been able to be successful
Yeah.
or even really get into it without social media. And we need those numbers. You know, we need that those new hunters to be stepping up and
Yeah, that's the
supporting
future of what we
us,
love
you
to
know.
do.
if we lose our hunters, we lose our people, then we're not going to have this.
Well, I think hunting, especially when it comes to social media, it's become popular for maybe not the right reasons. Like, I don't think that a lot of these people that they don't live the lifestyle. Like, it's not a lifestyle for them. Like, we live, breathe, and think about hunting like all year long.
Yeah.
It's there's no, oh, it's October, I start thinking about deer hunting again. I know people like that. They would not call themselves avid deer hunters, nor would they act like avid deer hunters.
Yeah, but they're still on our side.
Yeah.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
We need those people
Yes.
This is true.
to be on our side and stick up and, you know,
But-
stick up for our rights.
But when they're the mouthpiece rather than the support behind the mouthpiece,
Right.
that's where it can become a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking to someone that goes hunting in October, that just goes hunting. They're not a hunter. They go hunting in October and November. They put their gun away and they don't worry about hunting again until next October. When they become the mouthpiece, rather than saying, listen, I'm an avid hunter. I'm a hunter, don't get me wrong. I go hunting. But if you want questions answered, go to these people that are avid hunters. If they want to know about deer population, if they want to know about hunter ethics, like, I don't think we've ever hidden anything about our lifestyle on our show. We drink, we chew tobacco, we get a little crazy sometimes. We like to have a good time. You know, you're not going to see on other channels what you see on ours. I mean, for God's sakes, and I forgot what episode it was. I walked out with a camera, and on the dining room table, you and your dad are quartering up a deer. You're not going to see that on other YouTube channels, but that's because that's not. Maybe they just don't want to show it. I have no problem showing that because that's the lifestyle.
Yeah, I don't think very many people live that lifestyle. Though.
No, they don't. But and that's what I'm saying is when the people that don't live that style start becoming the mouthpiece rather than just like the support.
Yeah.
That's where you start coming into problems because they don't fully understand the lifestyle of it.
Yeah.
They can't relate to people the way that we have over the years in our deer camp episodes. That deer hunting isn't just deer hunting for us. Deer hunting is a rite of passage. It is a tool that our fathers used to help us become men.
Right.
Okay, it's how they taught us to learn responsibility, to do due diligence, you know, to have respect for life. When you look at a YouTube channel of people that are just on YouTube for the sake of being on YouTube and being a mobile hunter and, hey, look at me, they don't understand that. They don't understand the building blocks that went behind that. That's ingrained in the fabric of your humanity. They just go hunting in October and November, and then they throw up their tree stand or their bow or their gun and call it good till the next year.
Right.
I know you guys have just as much as I have. I lived a life of hunting. Venison was a very important part of our diet growing up, okay? And I didn't get it much, believe me. I learned to love eating liver because, you know, my dad, he was very restricted in the amount that he could hunt because he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Okay. It was awesome when my aunts or uncles came over and say, hey, Uncle so-and-so or Aunt so-and-so got a deer. Here's the liver and heart. Dude, I learned to love liver and onions. But I'm telling you, like, once my dad did kill a deer, like, me and my brother, we were jacked about it. It is ingrained in the fabric of who I am.
Yeah.
The principles that I run my business on, that I interact in my relationships, whether it be with a girl or my friends, my parents, my family, friends, everything about hunting has fine-tuned me to be the person that I am. And I'm proud of the person that I am, and I know you guys are too. But that's what I mean. It is ingrained in the fabric of who we are, not just something that we do in October and November.
Right.
So that's a long explanation of it. I hope you all understand that, but I'm very passionate
That's
about it.
complex. It's going
It's
to be
very-
hard for people to.
It's very
to comprehend
complex,
that,
but it's not what I do. It's literally who I am.
for those of you out there that live the same lifestyle we live, you will understand what Elvin's saying.
Yeah.
All right. MI North. I'm thinking about doing turkey stuff. Are you all planning anything similar, content-wise?
What is it?
Yes, we are planning on getting some turkey content out this spring for the first time in a long time. It would be my first time ever doing any filming during turkey season. So I think the way it's going to go, I know my daughter Alexis wants to hunt, so I'm going to hunt me and her together with the camera. And then I think the plan is Charlie and his son Kevin are going to be going with Elvin.
Yep.
And Elvin will be running the camera, or Charlie. I don't know.
I'm going to get Aaron to buy a turkey tag too. Maybe I can get him out there.
So those are our
We'll
first.
see. But yeah, either way, it's me, you, and Kevin opening morning.
Okay.
The first opening day, it'll be Lexi and Kevin behind the shotguns.
Yep.
And then we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, you got a tripod, don't you? Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I've got one, but it's not going to work for turkey.
Yeah, I gave you an
All
old
right, we'll
one.
get one.
And honestly, I can probably do it without a tripod, and I might rather do it without a tripod. I might rather freehand it.
Okay.
You know, just kind of tuck the camera up into my sternum and, you know.
Yeah, Alex, I appreciate that, but yeah, what you said is right. A lot of people are doing it for minuscule reasons, still the right reasons. I mean, I want to see people, and like Jake hit on, we need those people involved in hunting because eventually they become, or hopefully they become what we are. And, we're hunting and fishing and trapping is all ingrained in our lifestyle. We all hope that everyone gets there. If they don't, whatever, but we still want them, so that way they have the chance of being introduced into the lifestyle that we live.
David Wright says, "Do you guys think the bait ban should be overturned?"
Yeah, I don't agree with the bait ban.
I don't agree with the bait ban. Here's what I've noticed. So you've got these big chunks of property that are still feeding.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't stopped anyone from it. But what it does is it just pushes more of it to private land.
And it sucks a ton of deer off state land onto big chunks of private.
Yeah,
We noticed that.
yeah.
So that our deer numbers have went extremely down on state land since the baiting ban because you've got these big clubs that are feeding heavily.
Yeah.
And it's sucking deer into those. And I honestly I could care less. But I really think that people should be able to feed deer through the winter months, even if we're not allowed to bait in
I would agree with
season.
that, yeah.
I think the deer should be able to I think supplemental feeding
And I do
throughout the
believe
winter
I
should be
do believe
allowed.
that's how Georgia is. Georgia, you can bait out a season, and when it hits season or 10 days prior to season, you
can't
can't
bait.
bait.
100%
You can't
sure.
bait.
That makes a lot of sense to
Yeah.
me. You know, especially here in northern Michigan, our deer got it rough
Yeah.
in the wintertime. I believe they should be able to supplemental
Yeah.
feed throughout the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all kind of think the same way.
Yeah,
on that,
pretty
So
much.
Yeah.
that pretty much answers that.
Well, my biggest thing is they wanted to kill off as many deer as possible to eliminate the possibility of spreading CWD. Okay, and it's funny, isn't it? Real funny how you don't hear anything about CWD anymore. It's crazy, isn't it? After they got that passed, all of a sudden it's hush hush now, and you don't hear anything about it. I'm going to leave that there. However, you want to kill as many deer as possible to thin the herd to eliminate the possible spread of CWD, yet you take away the best tool for average hunters, okay? Because if we're being honest, most people aren't going to go the lengths that other people are to kill deer, okay? Most people want to go out in a pop-up. They want to sit over a bait pile that's 40 yards in front of them and maybe shoot a deer. And they're happy with that. Fine. Like you said, Jake, we need those people.
Right.
We need those people in the economy. We need those people in our industry. We need those people, exercising the same traditions that we do. We need those people. So that's why I say I have, and especially for like people who are paralyzed or handicapped, like there should be. I understand there's like a 4-day or 3 or 4 day window in like October, where like my dad being in a wheelchair, he can hunt from a standing vehicle, and he can hunt over bait,
Yeah.
but only in those 4 days.
Which is great. You know,
Would-
I'm glad they have those.
I
4 days,
appreciate the
but-
fact
Yeah.
that there's an opportunity, but I feel like that it should be open more in general.
Yeah.
I think it was more politically than anything. Yeah, David, you're right. It 100% was political. It's not even a secret anymore. That's the problem. It was political. Since the bait ban, our deer are smaller without the extra boost. Yeah, and like Jake was saying, even if they allowed supplemental feeding, where you could help these deer get through the winter and get them off to a good start and growing their antlers the following spring. You look at some of the areas like where there's a lot of a lot of agriculture, beans, milo, corn in certain areas. You're not going to see that major dip in, antler quality because there's already food there.
Right.
But when you start coming up to northern Michigan or the Upper Peninsula, there isn't a lot of agriculture. And these deer, when it gets down to November or the end of November and December, they're eating twigs. I mean, we got them on video this year. You got deer eating the tips of
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
And that's pretty normal to see, don't get me wrong, but when that's their only source of food, it gets pretty tough for them to carry that through the winter. But
Absolutely.
one of the funniest things I ever saw, a little side note here, Joe, being from Kansas. God, if he ever listens to this, he's going to be like, dude, you tell that story 100 times. And anyways, so we're driving back from bear baiting up in the UP. And we're driving, and, it's all swamp up there. And we're going past this one section. He looks and he's like, that's the weirdest thing. Someone took the time to trim all those cedar trees just like that. And I knew before I even saw it, I started laughing because I knew. And I looked at him and I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? He's like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm like, it's almost like it's the perfect height, like where a deer can't reach it. He's like, are those deer? I'm like, yeah, dude, they ain't got food up here. They gotta eat cedar.
Talk. You mentioned Joe there. I was in Indian River, and I can't, for the love of God, I can't remember his name, but I ended up bumping into Joe's uncle.
Oh no, it's not his uncle.
Her uncle.
No, it was a family friend, Rick.
Okay.
Yep.
Bigger guy.
Yep.
Yep. I ended up bumping into him at the restaurant this morning. He came over and
Oh,
chit chatted
shit.
the whole time I ate and stuff. Yep. He's got some nice bucks from where we hunt.
Oh, I bet he does.
He has one nice one
Yeah.
right where the area that you shot your six. Right?
No, I know where he hunts. In
But he hasn't hunted there in 6-7 years. He said.
no, he told me literally where his blind was
Was it?
because Joe was telling him about the area we were hunting. This is about maybe 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, we're at it was a birthday party of some sort or some sort of gathering. He's like, yeah, I used to hunt out that way, and I still do sometimes. Shot a lot of nice bucks. It's the ranch out there. Okay, one of the big ranches. There's a little sliver of public land
Oh yeah.
that it's hard to get to, but if you got there, it's an Oak Ridge, and it's pretty sweet. We actually walked in there one day to bow hunt it. He's like, yeah, you'll have to go check it out. Just don't go in there in rifle season. I'm
So
like, okay.
would it be like directly due east of your relative's camp?
No. No,
They
it-
camped on that back side though. That's
Yeah,
where
they did.
That's where they camped.
that's where they camp, but
Remember the big
it's,
camp on the backside of.
Because what
Oh.
I'm thinking right now is
Okay.
you got the big chunk.
think of the river, where the river crosses.
Yep.
Okay, further to the east, there's like a little hump in the road, little turn in the road where it goes up and then straightens back out. And there's a little chunk of public land. I'm gonna have to show you on my maps, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I could picture
he's
where
killed
it's
some
at.
nice bucks in there.
He had I mean, it's a dandy.
There's no way he still goes back in there.
No, he said he didn't. He said
It's
been
hard to
about
get
7-8
to.
years.
You got to go through some stuff to get there. But yeah, we went in there one day.
If he's listening, shout out. I totally forgot
Yeah.
his name.
I told him, well, we're gonna go in there and bow hunt that, and he's like, yeah, go ahead, just don't go in there during rifle season. He's like, I might shoot you. I'm in my blind. He's joking, obviously, but it's a pretty sweet spot. Yeah, we can like barely enter any internet access over here.
Mm-hmm. Well, Brad said he moved it out there.
Oh, okay.
We just have to do it in his new shed now.
Yeah, he
Oh, it
gave you
does.
his Wi-Fi password right there to get on your phone.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're looking at this. No.
But on the backside of his family's hunting spot, that backside, that little dead end,
Mm-hmm.
that was that big camp that you always seen back there. That was his camp.
It's right in here. See how the road goes up? And there's like it's all public right there. It's this Oak Ridge. Right there.
Okay.
Right there. It's not easy to get to.
For some
He-
reason,
he-
I think
oh,
me and
I've
Jake's
been there
been in there.
before.
He has a box blind up there.
Yeah, I came in from right here.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I
see,
think
we
Jake's
came
been
in.
in there.
We came in from here because we wanted to have the wind in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's got a blind right on that.
See, originally when you said that, my mind automatically.
Yeah, we gotta catch
Went
up.
to right here.
Yeah, catch up on some of these questions.
Oh,
Getting
okay.
Off subject there.
Gotcha. All right, we're gonna get back into these questions. Alex has agreed. Tom, we covered Tom's. David said, "I think it was more political than anything." Yeah, we covered that. It seems you guys bear hunt quite a bit. What's the average points needed for the red oak? Was it 9 now?
No, it's more than that.
Outstanding. And they just decreased the amount of tags.
So you, to be guaranteed, you need 11 points to draw for red oak. I've seen people draw on 9, 8, even.
Mine was 10.
Usually 10.
I love when people come up to me and they're like, "Yeah, I got 7 points. I should draw my red oak tag this year." I'm like,
No.
nope.
Nope.
Gonna be a couple years, bud. That's why I go to the UP. I can get a tag every other year, every 2 years. I like bear hunting. It's a good time. It's in September. I go up there bird hunting. Usually catch a little bit of trout fishing while I'm up there, so it's a lot of fun. And that usually takes 1 or 2 points for the second hunt. Red Oak unit deer numbers decrease as bear numbers increase. I could see how that might be true. I don't have any statistics to back that up. Jake might have a better idea of that. He's
Red
the.
Oak unit deer numbers decrease as bear numbers increase.
Is there that much fawn kill off from bear though?
No, I mean it happens, but I don't think that they interlace. You know, I think the bear population, I wouldn't say it's on an increase, and maybe it is on some of the east side of the state where it's a lot of private ground. But I feel like we've got a good, stable population of bears in the Red Oak unit right now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, you know, there was.
I'm gonna step away for a second.
You go back 6, 7, 8 years ago, our bear population was pretty poor. In the last few years, it's been steady. I would say, and I think honestly, I do believe the deer numbers are decreasing on big chunks of public land now, but I don't feel that the bear numbers are increasing. Jason Nichols says, I'm at 7. Possibly you could draw next year, Jason. Cross your fingers, though. What do we have here?
Did we miss any?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty much caught up now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, Alex, what area are you referring to, I guess, to give me a better idea about your thoughts on the bear and deer numbers? Here we go. My family has property there, 160 acres. 20 years ago, there were deer everywhere. And if you've seen a bear, you'd talk about it all year. Now you're lucky to see a deer, and there's bear all over. Just outside of Fairview. Yeah, we don't really deer hunt that area, so I can't really say. Just north of Fairview, I can't really say I could give you an honest opinion on that area. But at least in our area, I feel the bear population's been steady the last 4 or 5 years, and I would agree that our deer population's decreased some. But I think a lot of that could be from other factors other than bear.
Limited doe tags might have something to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all caught up.
Yeah, we're all caught up.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of break down a couple other things too. Obviously, we got turkey season come up. You guys know we're gonna have some turkey hunting content coming out. How interested would people be? And I've kind of thought about this platform, so kind of picture this. We got walleye camp. We do walleye camp every year. I think we've been doing the last 2 years. Right.
Yep.
So we've been doing that pretty consistently. Maybe a little bit of a newer thing, but we're going to be doing it. We're going to plan on, and picture this, and I want to see how interested everyone would be in the chat here. We're going to do a walleye camp, because what we do is we go out at midnight. I mean, we're on the water putting tracks down, marking fish and stuff like that. Well,
We usually
before
go out about 11.
yeah, and start kind of getting things ready to go. But we're going to do that, and we're going to have cameras in at least 3 boats. Mine, yours,
And a
then
couple.
Brad
yeah.
says we're not putting one in his boat.
We'll put one on there, and
we'll-
we'll just make it to where he doesn't know where it's at.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a GoPro.
Put a couple GoPro minis on there.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, way that I thought about like putting the format was a lot like how you see Wicked Tuna, where they go
Yeah.
from boat to boat when they're catching.
I think it'd
Dude,
be
how
awesome.
would that be? I
You
wanna
know,
do
he's
that.
probably listening right now,
sorry
but you
about
could
that.
probably put one of them headgears on him and just tell him it's a flashlight.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
Turn this, push this button. We'll be golden.
Yeah, keep that down. That would
Because
be
we
so
don't catch
cool.
a ton of fish, but we catch some really
Nice
good
ones.
quality fish.
Nice ones, yeah.
So it's not like nonstop action, but you know, you could put a time frame in there. You know, it's midnight. Next thing you know, it's 1:30, and we're over on Elvin's boat.
Yeah, it's not Saginaw Bay by any means.
Right.
but
And then it might be like 3:00 in the morning, and
Yeah.
we're back to my boat or Brad's boat, you know, and we're like falling asleep at the boat, just waiting for a fish, you know. And then next thing you know, 3:30, bam, board goes back. Poof. 30,
Oh, yeah.
30-inch, 10-pound walleye, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some big. I know.
And
Your
then have-
dad and Brad have caught some big freaking. You have too.
Yeah, I've caught some giants out of there.
God, I cannot believe it either.
So I ate my biggest walleye.
What a shame.
Yeah, it was 31 1/4 inches, and I ate it.
How many pounds was it?
I didn't weigh it.
Didn't weigh it.
Didn't weigh it.
Oh my god.
I would guess like probably 11 pounds.
I don't-
Spawned out.
I don't. I have a walleye that's mounted, but I'm not a big geek on fish that are mounted.
Me neither.
I like deer. I didn't. I've killed 2 bears and I haven't even gotten those mounted, or even
yeah,
rugs
same
made out of
here.
them. Just whatever. But yeah, I really want to do that for a walleye camp. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like a GoPro just consistently running.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm already thinking. My gears have been grinding thinking about how I would do that. But it'd be very
To
similar
catch
to
that excitement
Yeah.
when you're sitting in a boat in the middle of the night, half
Yeah.
asleep,
Yeah,
and all of a sudden that board goes off.
yeah.
That excitement right there. Like, I think everyone would be really pleased to watch us run around like chickens with our heads chopped off.
Outside board.
Come on.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. We definitely have to do that. Hope everyone would maybe find some value in that, whether comically or.
We got a couple
Anything
fishing
else?
tournaments coming up this summer.
Yeah, we're gonna do a couple fishing tournaments. Big lake. This would be salmon, lake trout, steelhead, brown trout. Although I've never caught a brown trout on the big water. I don't go out there. I think the best time would be if you're gonna go out. Probably like when we're walleye fishing. That'd be the time to go out and get browns. Got enough ice in there?
Oh yeah, we got lots.
All right, Jake's
got
over here
lots.
pouring more drinks.
Jason said he'd watch.
All right, Jason, we'll make that video.
Just
It'll
for
be-
you. Just for you.
It'll be Walleye Camp 2023. And yeah, that would be pretty cool. Tom says he ate a 42-inch northern after he found out how much it would cost him to get him out. Yeah, 42-inch northern. What is
Like $20 an inch, I think.
is it $20 an inch?
Yeah. Tell me when.
That's
You didn't
that's
tell me.
good.
do you want any Dr. Pepper in there?
Yeah, it might. I don't know if you can fit any in there, but yeah.
Oh shit, that was a
We'll
spitter.
send. No, I was keeping an eye on my spitter when he was going to pour more in there. Yeah, fish aren't very cheap, especially a 42-inch northern. Honestly, anything over 45 inches on the northern department, I would probably get mounted.
Anything over what?
45.
45?
I'm not a big
Dude,
fish mount.
that's big.
That's huge.
Like you could probably
But
go your
that's-
whole life without catching a 45.
I've never even caught one over 38.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
So
biggest
I
one
put
was like
back
37.
I put back a 42 when I was a kid. My dad made me put it back. He's like, "Well, get a bigger one."
No.
I've never caught a fish over 40 inches, a northern over 40 inches since then.
Yeah.
Made me
caught-
put it back. You were with me. You and Travis were with me. I have the picture.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
I caught a nice
Caught
one
it off
ice
a
fishing
tip
once.
Yep, I remember that one. Yeah, I got a picture on Facebook on that one.
And that was a
That's a strong one there, Jacob.
yeah, that was stiff.
Oh, Aunt Mandy has the
Allie
picture.
says she's going to join us at Walleye Camp, Charlie. Charlie's not even going to go to Walleye
I don't
Camp.
even go to walleye camp.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's all right. Allie can come out in the boat with me, Aaron, and Hunter.
She
Yeah,
can
I
ride my
bet-
boat anytime she wants.
I bet she could.
So just come out in the boat, and we'll have a heater there, and we'll cruise
She,
around.
she wouldn't make it through the first cabin. There's 2 cabins.
Hunter didn't even. Hunter. It was funny. Hunter got
Charlie,
in the boat.
come
No.
get me! The old
Get me
guys
outta
in the
here.
first cabin would. Oh my God, no, not happening.
Your
No.
dad alone. She'd be like, all right, I'm
Oh,
ready to go
man.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your brother, he went fishing with me and Aaron Not last year, 2 years ago. Maybe
Hunter.
was it last year? Yeah, it was
I
last
think
year.
it was last year. No,
Dude.
because he was in Brad's boat last year.
No, he switched. He was in my boat the first night, and then the second night he was with.
He's like, I'm going to get on the fish
He's-
catching boat.
He's like, all right, these guys aren't catching any fish. Well, that's why I went out and I got my bow mounted trolling motor because I'm not messing around this year.
Yeah.
You got to have one fishing for him like that.
Yeah, and I still run my kicker. I run my kicker motor, and then I just use my bow mount to steer.
Mm-hmm.
You've got an anchor point in the front and the back, and it just keeps your boat so stable. You can hold a line so much better
Yeah.
with 2 anchor points.
Yeah. No, that doesn't make sense. I just know I'm going to hook up my front trolling motor because I have a 10-horse Merc kicker, and then I have my 90-horse Merc.
Did you even have your kicker last year?
I didn't have my kicker.
So I think that alone will make a big difference.
It probably would. But me and Aaron were talking about that a few times, and we noticed that like every time we'd cruise over a school of fish, you would see marks of them diving when we were going over them. And I'm like,
Really?
dude, this motor's scaring them. 100%. This motor's scaring them. What? Says who? I pay more attention than Charlie and Jake.
Who said that?
She
Oh,
probably
yeah.
does.
No, she did. We took her fishing this past winter. And
Yeah.
she was catching every fish because we weren't paying attention.
It's just last
There you go.
weekend she outfished us both.
Mm-hmm.
We were just being
You guys
nice,
are the ones
Ellie.
that said that out
Yeah.
loud, not me.
We were just being nice.
Just being nice. Like she wasn't even letting the kids have a turn.
Yeah.
She was having way too
Yeah,
much
we
fun.
were trying to let the kids catch fish, and Allie's just like pushing them down to get to
She's
the
like,
tip
"It's
ups.
my time to
Literally
shine."
3 kids. Yeah, boom, boom, just like a football player, dude. It was like
Yeah.
Sunday.
Get out of my
Sunday
way.
football all over.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm really pumped about that. So 3 weeks from tomorrow, we got walleye camp. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we got turkey. Turkey season.
I
that-
matched one for you.
That's a strong one. You made a strong one, man. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I
So
think
what do
we're all
we?
caught
So
up.
what do we got coming up this week? We got
Well, this week we got episode 4 coming up, which is probably my second favorite episode. And then there's the finale that is just it's
and then
awesome.
We're sitting down with a friend of Jake's
yep.
for I can't think of his name. What's his name, Jake?
Brendan Sturdivant.
Brent Sturdivant
Brent
will be
Sturdivant.
here
Well, you guys are
Thursday, and
we
then
could- we
that,
could
will,
do-
that will air on the following Monday, the 17th.
yeah, before
So-
turkey season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or he's going to be here. We're going to talk turkeys. He's going to go over some calls and tactics and bring a couple calls and
Yep.
make some demonstrations and show me and Charlie how to call turkeys in.
Yep.
There you go.
I think it's just this more open area here is a little bit better than just my
Yeah.
sitting at my house like we have been. You know what I mean?
I
Normally
didn't
the
mind
pod.
that though. You got a pretty good little setup in
Yeah,
there, Charlie.
Well, I didn't know you were not gonna be there, so tell the truth, we could do it at my house now. We have a little bit more room, so.
Well, we only got 3 mics. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Oh, we'll get another one. Yeah. No, I'm. I know I'm starting to get fired up for getting out in the woods and walking around and be doing some of that. I've got a whole list. So in my room, in my office, where I do all my video editing, I also have 2 big whiteboards, and I have a list of things that I want to accomplish this spring. And I've got 19 spots that I want to hammer down, just based off. I was looking off my Onyx, going over pins. And I have 19 spots that I want to look at, find the tree that I'd be in, and back to Glowtax. I don't use Glowtax to get in, but however, when I, because I don't hang a lot of tree stands before season, so I run my climber. But what I'll do is I'll put Glowtax like in a diamond or a triangle on the tree that for my
Where you
for my I'm putting my yeah. So that's what I do a lot of times. But yeah, I have a bunch of stuff, and I want to do some scouting videos because I think it's really important, especially this time of year, when we're talking about deer hunting. I don't know if maybe it's fair to say or not, but I think we talk about deer hunting in a little bit different way than most people do in the aspect of, we find the patterns. We're not trying to find a certain setup. We're just taking what the deer give us and finding their patterns, and then we put together a strategy and execute on that strategy. I think that's kind of a unique way of looking at it and talking about it, but I also want to find other ways to show that in video, portray that, and explain that throughout the video to deliver to people. I think there'd be a lot of value in that for people. And likewise with you guys. I know Jake's been in the woods quite a bit, but, Charlie, same with you.
And then we got 3 different ways of hunting too. Sometimes, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last couple of years, I literally hunted this. I hunted a deer, one
Yep.
deer. You know what I mean? Jake did his bouncing around, mobile hunting,
Yep.
figuring out the bucks. You know what I mean? Same with you. We just got 3 different ways of hunting. We got 3 different ways of scouting, and then we put the patterns all together. Most of the time, together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our text message, our group text messages goes 365 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All
Our
year.
deer camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, never quit.
No.
I paid $800 for a buck mount this last deer season. They went up from the last year, mounted $550. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all going to go up.
It's insane.
Look at a bear mount. Like a bear mount, even just a shoulder mount is crazy.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. And tell the truth, that's one of my passions. I'd love to get into
What's that?
mountain deer.
Oh, taxidermy. Yeah.
Just taking the,
Yeah,
the
not me.
leap to do it.
That's very tedious. But all right, well, I think we just hit the 202 mark, so I think we'll get this wrapped up. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. I know we've been doing this every Friday night after the episode release, and we will continue doing it throughout the rest of this series. So we got 2 more episodes. So you're gonna have 2 more live Q&As. Get other people on. If they have questions and they want to, ask any questions. I mean, we're more than willing to answer in our best ability to the point where people can understand it, digest it, and maybe utilize it themselves. We're here to offer value. This isn't a glamorous thing or anything like that, but we're sitting here eating pizza, popcorn, cookies, drinking Dr. Pepper and Captain Morgan. Charlie's got his vodka and Red Bull because he's watching his figure. And me and Jake are just sending it. So, So yeah, but episode 3, we're really happy with it. Hope everyone liked it. We got episode 4 coming out Tuesday. We're really excited about that for you guys to see that. So
We got our podcast is on Monday.
Yep, podcasts on Monday. We'll be
Stay
releasing that. So keep an eye out for that. And that's on Spotify, that's on Apple, Google Play, and then we're also releasing on YouTube. Actually, I had it uploaded to YouTube as I was leaving to come up here. So, so yeah, with that being said, good night to everyone. I don't know if you guys want to say anything.
No, just
No.
stay wild, and hopefully see you guys next time.
All right.
I
Well,
hope everybody gets a chance this weekend to get out in the woods and do some spring scouting. Looks like it's going to be a great weekend for it.
Yeah,
beautiful
We
weather.
lost
Just
a
make-
lot of snow this week, so
just make sure you stay out of my spot.
get out there and get some spring scouting and put them patterns together.
yeah. All right. Have a good weekend, everyone. Stay wild.